And welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wat2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. So, it is week 3 in the National Football League, and that means it is time to make our confidence picks for week 3. So, for those of you who are new, we don't pick against the spread. We pick winners. And then we assign a confidence rating to every game from 16 points, the game we have the most confidence in, all the way down to 1, the game we have the least confidence in. And we can use every number only once. And the goal is to get as many points as possible. So before we get into week 3, let's do a quick recap on how we did in week 2 because we hold ourselves accountable around here. So overall, the picks did not look too good. Went 8-8. I think it was a tough week for a lot of people. Got only 68 points. The Ravens obviously did a number on my score, but we did climb 24.4% in the standings, now at the 68.8% rating. Usually the last few years, I finished around 95%. So I got a long way to go to get to where I want to be. For the season, we are 18 up, 14 down, 175 points overall. So this week, in week 3, we've got 2 Monday night games, and thank you, DirecTV, that I'm actually able to watch them again since they're on ESPN and ABC. All right, so let's start with the number 16 game, the game I've got the most confidence in, the game I'm using in my survivor pick, and I'm still alive in that. It is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home against the Denver Broncos. This is just one of those games that you got to wish was exclusively on a streaming service. Denver is just too sloppy and ineffective right now on offense to be trusted. Tampa Bay's defense, hey, it's looking strong. Got to give them credit. I'm not a Todd Bowles fan, but the man can coach defense a little bit. Chris Godwin was awesome last week. Baker Mayfield is tied for the most touchdown passes in the NFL with 5 through the first 2 weeks of the season. Give me Tampa Bay, best bet. Number 15, the San Francisco 49ers at the Los Angeles Rams. This will be an angry Niners team, but a beat-up Niners team without McCaffrey and Debo. But then there are the befuddled 0-2 Rams that got just straight by Arizona last week. Imagine this. Kyren Williams, the Rams' star young running back, has 30 carries for 75 yards this season. Who would have saw that coming? Plus, no Nakua, no Kupp. The offensive line is in tatters. The pass defense is even worse. Last week, Kyler Murray had a perfect passer rating, went 17 for 21, 266 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Just ridiculous. And in the opener, Jameson Williams had 5 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Give me the Niners. I don't care that they're on the road. I don't care that it's a divisional game. They're coming off a loss. They're winning this. My number 14 game, the New York Giants at the Cleveland Browns. I'm going with Cleveland. How much confidence can you really have left in Big Blue after the way they lost to Washington? Now they're facing a superior roster who's getting healthy on the offensive line with their tackles. But the Cleveland defense has some real studs, not just Myles Garrett. You throw in J.O.K., you throw in Zadarius Smith, you throw in that secondary. They play super aggressive, and I don't have the confidence in Danny Dimes that he's going to handle it along with the rest of the Big Blue offense. I will say Andrew Thomas against Myles Garrett could be a great matchup, but I'm taking Cleveland at home. My number 13 game is one of the Monday nights. It is the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Buffalo Bills. I'm taking the Bills at home. The Jaguars have scored just 30 points in the first 2 games total. Trevor Lawrence, I don't think they're naming any stadiums after him again anytime soon, has completed 51% of his passes, thrown just 1 touchdown. Brian Thomas looks like a very good young wide receiver. Looks like he's going to be around for a while. But they lost Evan Ingram in warmups last week against Cleveland. That hurt them significantly. He's likely out this week as well. Here's how bad it's going for Jacksonville right now. Last week, the Browns converted just 2 of their 14 third downs, committed 13 penalties, and they still won the game. I don't need to say much more about the Bills. They are just rolling right now. They're home, and they've got some extra rest. I think they stay undefeated. Number 12 is going to be the Sunday night game, the Kansas City Chiefs at the Atlanta Falcons. I'm taking Kansas City. Atlanta's coming off a very dramatic win, off a short week. Now they're going, and I just don't like that. I've never liked that, even though they're home. But as far as the Chiefs go, they take a little bit of a hit at running back with Isaiah Pacheco going out. They signed Kareem Hunt. But I think the Kansas City speed with Rice and Worthy is going to make the difference. I also think Travis Kelce is going to get reintroduced to the passing game on Sunday night. National TV, he'll get a few targets. And, hey, even if they fall incomplete, the refs will be there to bail Kansas City out because we got to keep little Miss Taylor happy. Number 11, the Washington Commandskins at the Cincinnati Bengals. This is the other Monday night game. Cincy is 1-9 in the first 2 weeks of a season over the last 5 years. Well, welcome to week 3. Cincinnati should have won that game in Kansas City. We all know the officials bailed them out. Washington has maybe the most or second most porous pass defense in the league. I don't think they're handling Joe Burrow. Number 10, the Carolina Panthers at the Vegas Raiders. We got the battle of the powerhouse quarterbacks here with Gardner Minshew against Andy Dalton. I got to tell you what, the fact that the Panthers have switched over from Bryce Young to Andy Dalton, I would have made this maybe my 15 game, maybe even my 16 game. I'm taking it down to my number 10. I got a little more confidence. As a starter against the Raiders, Dalton is 3-0, 7 touchdowns to no interceptions. I think this could be an upset special, and maybe the Raiders are just feeling themselves a little bit after beating Baltimore. That dramatic win. Do they have a little bit of a letdown game at home against Carolina? I think it's possible. I'm still going to go with the Raiders. I think Carolina's defense is not going to be able to handle both Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers. It's a reluctant pick. In fact, I'm taking it down to 10. I'm taking the Raiders at home. But I'm just not sure about that one. Number 9, the Detroit Lions at the Arizona Cardinals. You got to think this one over. Last week, Detroit closed the game to Tampa Bay. Their red zone offense is only 27th in the league. Maybe they might want to start targeting Sam Laporta again. Might be a good idea. And the Cardinals, give them credit. They haven't looked this good since maybe Kurt Warner was behind center. The game's in Arizona. I expect 60 to 65 points. But I think Arizona just took advantage of very depleted Rams roster. I don't think they're doing that to Detroit. So I'll take the Lions on the road. Number 8, possibly the game of the week, despite a combined record of 1-3, the Baltimore Ravens at the Dallas Cowboys. I'm taking the Ravens. Now, their defense is struggling under Zach Orr. We know they blew the 10-point lead at home to the Raiders. Penalties, third down failures, all the symptoms of a struggling defense are there. And Derrick Henry has not done much behind the shaky offensive line. But you look at Dallas, they're coming off a 25-point loss at home to New Orleans. They just cannot stop the run. And I don't know if they're going to be able to stop Derrick Henry this week. Through 2 weeks, they are averaging 141.5 yards per game on the ground. That's what they're giving up. Now they're going against a Ravens team that does rank 7th in the NFL at 168 per game. But then you look at the other side. The Ravens are giving up the most passing yards in the league. Might be a big day for the Cowboys passing attack, but CeeDee Lamb is a little bit banged up. So both teams struggling, both teams capable, have talent. So for me, it comes down to which coach can rally his team. And at the end of the day, I will still take John Harbaugh over Mike McCarthy. So give me the Ravens on the road. Number 7 is the Thursday night game. It is the home opener in the Meadowlands, the New England Patriots at the New York Jets. I'll tell you, 3 games in 11 days for the Jets does scare me. The Jets' run defense needs to show up against the Patriot offense that has shown they cannot throw the ball, certainly not to a wide receiver. And the Patriots are not going to catch up if they fall behind early. A quick start for the Jets will go a long way. They're the better team. They're more balanced. And the Patriots' offensive line is down several starters, including, it looks like their left tackle, their left guard, their right guard, and their center and right tackle are banged up as well. I think the Jets win, but I do think it's a tight battle that will come down to the final few minutes. Number 6. Okay, now it starts to get a little bit tougher. The Miami Dolphins at the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Skylar Thompson will play quarterback. He has played 3 games as the Dolphins starting quarterback. He has thrown for 1 touchdown, 2 picks, completed less than 54% of his passes. Now, the Hawks are 2-0, but to me, it's a very shaky 2-0. Their offensive line is shaky, but I just think the Dolphins are as mentally fragile as they could be right now. You just never know when they're going to turn it on. So I'm taking the Seahawks in their own building. Not very confident in it. Number 5, the Houston Texans at the Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be a fun one here. I'm taking Houston, but both teams are undefeated. Stephon Diggs is returning home. Will the Sam Darnold dream continue? 2 games. He's thrown 4 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, a 72% completion rate. Again, it goes to show you when you have a quarterback, a young quarterback, you better have a good coach to go with him. But you have to wonder, is Justin Jefferson healthy after hurting his quad? Jordan Addison missed last week with an ankle problem. I think Houston has a little too much for the Vikings to handle. Give me Houston on the road. And now the final four. We're going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles at the New Orleans Saints. I'm picking the Saints to improve to 3-0. 91 points in 2 games the Saints have put up. That is the 4th best number in the history of the NFL. Clint Kubiak looks like he's this year's Ben Johnson, just the latest superstar offensive coordinator. And the Eagles defense, it's super shaky right now. They're averaging almost 400 yards per game. You're coming off a brutal loss at home on a short week, going into the Superdome. That ain't good. I think that Saints running attack is going to be the difference here. Number 3, the Green Bay Packers at the Tennessee Titans. Speaking of another powerhouse quarterback matchup, you've got Will Levis against Malik Willis. That's hard to say sometimes. Yeah, Will Levis, Malik Willis. Say that 5 times fast. But it is the Malik Willis revenge game. Last week, the Packers ran for 261 yards against Indy. They ran 53 times against that Tennessee defensive front. I'm sorry, I don't think that's going to work. Sweat and Simmons, I felt, had a bad game against the Jets. They're going to show out in this game. It's not that I'm a Will Levis backer, but I'm calling for the upset here. I think Tennessee wins it. And you know what? Every Tennessee game has ended with them losing 24-17, so why not? I say they'll win 24-17 this week. Number 2, the Chicago Bears at the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, I've gone back and forth on this one. There's a lot of people who like the Colts going into the season, and now they're 0-2. Anthony Richardson still has a lot to prove. He threw 3 interceptions against Green Bay. He's completing under 50% of his passes. But the Colts defense is what has shocked me. They allowed 261 rushing yards to a team that they knew would be running with Malik Willis being in there at quarterback. But on the other side, Caleb Williams doesn't look too comfortable either. He's thrown 2 interceptions, 56% completion rate. He has taken 9 sacks, tied with Gardner Minshew for the most in the league. So that said, the Bears should be attacking the worst run defense in the NFL, which is the Colts. And to make the Colts defense, to give it an even bigger blow, on Tuesday, they put DeForest Buckner, their all-pro defensive tackle, on IR. I think that's too much to handle. Bears win on the road. And then finally, number 1. This is a game that I think comes down to the last possession, possibly to a field goal. The Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You've got 2 unbeaten AFC teams, but I think most of us are expecting at least one of these teams to fall off sooner rather than later. But if you like running the ball, if you like defense, and if you like very few points on the scoreboard, well, this is your game. Happy Sunday to you. Jim Harbaugh is bringing a winning physical culture to a Chargers team that has needed it for a long time. I know Justin Herbert's ankle is not good, but Pittsburgh has only 1 touchdown all year. They're in the bottom 5 in the league in success rate. I'm taking the Bolts on the road to defeat Pittsburgh. Well, guys, those are my picks for the week. Let me know if you have some picks. Put them right down there in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. And reminder, I will be back here Thursday night to record the video with the 3 key plays from the Jets game you may not remember that affected the outcome of the game. So everybody, have a great one, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.